Transition awareness breathing. Feeling grounded for both children and parents is essential for healthy living and learning. Join Eartha Powell on this series for tips and tools for creating a harmonious environment for learning. Transition awareness breathing will help you and your child find an individualized path to tackle change, promote lifelong learning, and discover new approaches to calmness.
Hi. Hey, there you are. Welcome to Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast. I was wondering if I can invite you to take a few moments and listen to a thought that's been running through my mind, not just today, but each year. It seems every year we put aside a day to thank mothers, to thank fathers. And, oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to get acknowledged, to get thanked. On the other side of that thought, there are so many variables that come out when we are acknowledging and thanking our moms and our dads, because sometimes the role of mothers and the roles of fathers are kind of mixed. And so I would like to say and I've always said this, to everyone who is supportive and compassionate, who is providing, who is a protector of your family, Happy Parents' Day, Happy Guardians' Day, happy day for you stepping up to the plate and taking care of those that you love. And sometimes those people are more than what we see as a traditional mom and a traditional dad, because sometimes grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends step into that role. And so I just want to acknowledge Happy Guardian, Happy Parents' Day. But before I go any farther, I would like to thank Web Talk Radio for allowing me to have a platform to bring Transition Awareness Breathing podcasts to you. And to my producers, Mary Lou and Sam, thank you for making Transition Awareness Breathing podcast available to you wherever you are at. Now, let's get started. I have a gift for you. And this is a gift I hope that you will take away and replay this podcast at times that you need it. Not when society recognizes you, but a time where you can sit back and with your beverage and take away some of the information that we're going to talk about today. When you become a parent or a guardian, it really changes your life. It changes how we look at ourselves. It changes our environment oftentimes. It changes our perspective. And oftentimes, I don't know about you, but I'm going to use examples in my point of view regarding my children. I really became more aware of what they were looking at, what I was saying, how I was saying it, because I found that our children pay attention more to what we do than what we say. And that in itself is an awareness, I think, that occurs with most parents, most guardians, taking it a little step further, and I'm going to use that term right now, a little step further. Some of us are blessed with children who are just full of energy. And a child that is growing up in a regular, normal, developing situation, most children are energetic. But I want to talk about that child that, the teacher calls you into the office, or you get that phone call and say, we need to talk. Or, before you leave, may I have a few words with you? And so you go and you are listening to the teacher or the daycare worker or wherever the place that has been taking care of your children, and they begin to start off with, your child, and they mention the child's name, is a beautiful child. And they are so wonderful. But, it's the but. We're having there's the few little problems. And they proceed to fill the air, fill your ears with the behavior that your child is exhibiting while they were in the care of the school or the daycare or wherever. And it takes you back. It shocks you, because maybe this is the first time, that your child has been in a environment like that, or at home. We could have been working with our children on different social and behavioral issues, but we didn't really think it would be an issue when we got them in a public place. But now we're faced with the daycare director or the teacher, the principal, the swim coach, the soccer coach, whoever. It's the leadership of that organization. And it feels like it's you or me on one side and the organization on the other side. And so the mind goes blank, the heart sinks, because the description of the behaviors that they're describing is about someone who you love. This is your child. This is your blessing. And the way that the behaviors being described to you, they can't listen. They don't follow instructions. They're touching. They're following people too close. They're interrupting. I mean, it makes it seem like that your child is the only person in the whole school that's exhibiting such behavior. I mean, we take it personal, don't we? I could go on, but I won't. Because I think at that moment, at least for me, my heart sank. They're talking about my child. And although they see hundreds, thousands of children, they haven't seen my child. They don't know my child. But regardless as it may, you leave that meeting and you're trying to get your composure back. Now, maybe it's just me. And so I can tell you, I am talking about my experience, and as I am doing a lot of research and getting together material for this podcast, the idea came to me, how about offering a follow-up podcast on one of my previous podcasts about one of the renowned authors of a book I had talked about. It's called Pathways to Success, a comprehensive guide to thriving with ADHD. And this wonderful book is written by a renowned author, Rabbi Lerner. Rabbi Aharon Lerner is a psychotherapist, and he lives in Israel. He has seen thousands and has helped thousands of children and families. And I read his book, and am using his book, and it has been so helpful. And I think I would like to share a little bit, some tidbits about why this book is helpful if you have a child with, I'm going to call it a superpower, like ADHD or ADD. There are many different superpowers out there, but we're going to address ADHD and ADD from a mindfulness perspective. Rabbi Lerner sent me some information, and I emailed him, and I told him I would be happy to present this information because it needs to get out. It's one thing to read information, but I think the next step is to share it. And so I hope over these next couple of podcasts, as I share this information, it will be helpful for you. And you can use this information immediately. And I think so the first step that I learned, and there's many, many wonderful resources, I am telling you, about how to help a child who is energetic or who is kinetic. I've heard those terms to describe my son. There's many books and many resources. I think this book is special because it emphasizes not only the need to be positive with our child, but also we need to be positive with ourselves. If you have a child, a super duper power child, they have super energies. Have you ever wondered how, superheroes are born? The parents of superheroes. What is it like? Well, they got all kind of cartoons, the Incredibles and Batman and, Superman and everybody else. But this, my friends, is real life. And it is not easy. So let's just be honest. And that's a part of mindfulness. And that's one thing that the author really highlights, is that we need to be honest with our feelings as parents and as caregivers. We know that we love our children, and we know that we're trying to do our best, but we also have to reflect and be honest with those feelings of guilt that we may be having, or the feelings of frustration and anger. So, if in the back of your mind and you're trying to control yourself, you're trying to say, I'm not angry. If you are angry, acknowledge this is anger or this is bitterness. And I feel helpless. And I just feel like I am at the end of my rope. That acknowledging and the awareness and the honesty of self-reflecting your feelings is the first step to helping the one that you love with those superpowers. Because to hold on to it gets more frustrating, and it begins to filter out in even tones of words and impatience. The pain that we have with ourselves is real. And so acknowledge your feelings. Write it down. Talk to someone. Try to avoid the guilt. It's not going to help. We are all humans, and we want to do everything that we can to help our child that has ADHD, ADD, any child, right? So we don't want to harbor guilt. Instead, we can channel our energies and say, what's the next step? Taking a breath, bringing ourselves down to calm, and saying to our children, we're going to get through this, and I'm going to help you. And sometimes, if we have a moment where we lose our patience, we raise our voice. It happens. We've got to look at our children in the eye and say, I'm sorry. That wasn't the right thing. I could have done that better. Because what we are trying to do is we're trying to change an environment. The child already is frustrated. The child, we're talking about ourselves in this session mostly, and then next time we'll talk about the child. But just a little bit, the child with ADHD, this child has negative self-talk already. It's hard for the child to make friends oftentimes. It's difficult for the child to follow through. The child procrastinates or it's hard for her to get started in her day. And so she hears or he hears comments from wherever. And so all those comments and all those negative experiences, this child already has. But we don't have to feed the fire, because what that child needs is an extinguisher of the negativeness. And so how do we do that? By nurturing and showing kindness and compassion in the positive. Being an example to our children and saying, we're going to get through this, and we're going to take one step at a time. And each time that we will make, not can make or make time, each time we will make, we're going to give that child a different mindset. We're going to change the environment. We're going to start using a positive mindset. That we're going to say, you know what? I make mistakes too. High five for making mistakes, because you know what? When we make a mistake, we learn. High five for the learning. We got superpowers, and we're learning how to use them. Give your child some examples so that they can see that they're progressing. You know, the younger the child, you think you may not have a lot of examples. You got a lot of examples. When the child begins to walk, he falls down, she falls down, she gets back up. When the child is learning how to write or learning their ABCs, you see how you did before you could do it. You're getting dressed by yourself. Build those positive things into their day. Give them some praise. And give yourself some praise. We know that we feel a little extra, maybe compared to our other children. Stop comparing. This child is unique, like all our other children are unique. We're all unique. Don't we want to be treated like individuals? When you go to a store, do you like to be treated like everybody else? No, but like that special treatment. Of course we do. Come on now. You know, you're in line. You've been waiting in line for something maybe. And when you get up to the cash register, how do you like to be treated? What would you like? What would you prefer? Ma'am, sir, thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry that you had to wait so long. Thanks for coming in and visiting with us. Would you like that? Or would you like the cashier just to kind of, is there anything else I can do for you? Maybe so, because you're in a hurry. You don't care. But if you want to see behavioral change, feed the positive. Change the mindset and extinguish the negative. This is our first step in making superheroes, because we are super guardians. We're super parents. And right now we're working on it, and we're going to get better at it. And we're going to talk about how to incorporate transition awareness breathing into our day in helping our superhero children. I look forward to talking to you again next time. And remember, practice makes it better. Have a great day.
Be sure and pick up a copy of Eartha's new book, Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's not just an ordinary coloring book. It features 23 illustrations to stimulate thought, relaxation, and creativity for anyone between the ages of 4 and 94. Increase your positive self-talk energy. Unlock new creative paths. Transform your time once or twice a week to create beautiful art while strengthening confidence, building positive self-talk, and sensitize self-awareness. Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's available now at Amazon.com.